Well, it has been a long time since we've last recorded an episode of Poor Man Sports, but we are back. We have returned. We have Eric, we have Josh and myself. The Avengers, the Three Musketeers, have reunited once again tonight to talk about
Which
all things
Avenger
sports.
are you, Albert?
I'm the one on the rooftop. Who do you think that one is?
The
I thought that
shittiest
was
one,
Eric.
the most redundant one.
I
I'm.
thought Eric was Hawkeye.
Is he the most redundant one? You think?
Maybe.
He's saying "Go Birds" every time. That's super redundant.
Right here,
Yeah,
Josh.
and it's a bird. So he is Hawkeye. Yeah.
Jeez. All right. Well, I'm gonna stick to Nick Colson. Was that his name? The guy from the Shield. That's
Oh, you
who I
die.
am. Yes.
Oh, okay. Oh,
And which Avenger are you, Josh?
I'm Thor because I have a big hammer.
All right. All right. All right. That's enough of that.
Okie doke.
Thank you guys for tuning in for tonight's episode. We really appreciate it. We also appreciate your patience. Well, there has been a kind of a gap between episodes. Eric, you know better at explaining this why there's going to be some gaps in between with these episodes. I mean, the NFL is still going, but it's not really going right. So there's going to be some kind of sparseness in between.
Yeah, I think for anybody out there that's still hanging in, it's probably not many, but I know there's a few. It has been sparse, and there's a lot of reasons to Albert's point. The NFL season is over, and I'm more dialed in on football. I am a watcher of sports, but football is really what I care most about. Josh is a little bit more diverse, a little bit, but and another thing too, we have a lot going on in our lives. It's not like this is some money making machine we're operating here. It's just been for fun, and so we're just kind of a slow build. So we're doing our best, and if you're hanging in still, thank you. We appreciate it, but we're just trying to have a good time. We don't want to report the news too. I think that's kind of when I say report the news, we're not trying to talk about every little dramatic bullshit thing. Like, yeah, we'll touch on things when we do, but we're not living to try to remain in the same. Everyone's kind of chasing the same cheese, and it's hard not to at times. And yeah, there are things we're going to talk about that are relevant for sure, but I think Josh and I have decided we're not trying to live in that space where every time there's some breaking thing every day, we got to get on and basically rinse and repeat the same shit. Doesn't mean we're not going to talk about our teams when things happen, because we do want to do that. So anyway.
Yeah, no, that well said, Eric. And that being said, we are going to talk about something here before we jump into tonight's topic. Josh, wanting to get your thoughts on this. The Denver Broncos have traded for Jaylen Waddle from the Dolphins, a move that has come while there was rumors that the league, a buzz about teams, including Denver Broncos, were potentially targeting A.J. Brown. The question here is, did Denver make the right call choosing Waddle instead of going all in for A.J. Brown?
Coming in with a heater.
Holy shit!
That's great. You weren't ready for that.
Yeah, I heard rumors that we were going for AJ Brown. I was somewhat excited because we need an elite catcher, receiver. We really do, and unfortunately, our receiving core is missing that one piece. I'm drawing a blank. I've bitched about him all season. He's inconsistent. Yeah. He's always dropping passes. He's a no-show. Wasn't relevant in the last 5 games, including the playoffs as well. So it was kind of exciting to hear that we were going to get somebody potentially like AJ Brown. Am I glad that we didn't get him? Yeah, I am, because as Eric knows, I think getting a player like AJ Brown, you also get the baggage that he comes with and the drama that he brings to the table as well.
He wants the ball.
So I think Waddle is a safe bet as well. So he's a quiet player, forms, and other than that, all I can say is let's wait and see. Let's wait and see, because even if we were to get AJ Brown, he may not perform in Denver.
May not.
Waddle
You never know.
Perform in Denver. There's a weird thing that happens in sports. You may be the number one go-to guy for the team that you're currently in, and you're not on a winning team, and then you go to that team that has the potential to go to a Super Bowl, go to any championship, and you just don't fit in. And it's happened to a lot of players. It's happened to Wes Welker, big time route receiver for the Patriots, came to Denver with Peyton Manning. How did he do? Johnson.
I remember he was there, but I don't actually remember how well he
wasn't. And maybe it was age as well, but
late in his career, dude. It was a late stop for him.
Perform the way that he did with the Patriots. The year before, he had an astonishing season. And then, same thing's kind of happening to Johnson with the Denver Nuggets right now. We traded Michael Porter Jr. because Michael Porter was inconsistent, not as strong on the defense.
He's injured a lot.
Johnson was actually the number one guy in the Nets. Scorer, top three-pointer, great defensive player as well. And he's not meshing well with our offense. So it's just a weird factor. So
what do you think about to stay on the Jaylen Waddle thing for a second? I'll touch on what I think about it in a minute, but did you see the trade? What was given up for Jaylen Waddle?
I haven't really looked into it.
I did
too much.
You gave up a pretty hefty haul for him. You gave him a first round draft pick. Now, granted, this is I don't know which pick it is. If it's this year's pick, first round pick. I mean, we're talking about like what the 30th pick in the first round. So you could kind of look at that as like, okay, it's kind of like almost like your second round pick, right? Sort of late in the first round. You know what I mean? You give a first, a third, and a fifth. That's not a light load. You know what I mean? That's a pretty hefty load, and I think AJ was probably a little bit more than that. My guess is AJ. I think it's rumored that Howie's looking for like a first and a second, right? So Jaylen Waddle he's productive. His last two seasons have not been as productive, and I think that's why I was a little surprised maybe by the compensation that they had to give up to get him, because in his last two seasons and again, the Dolphins have had a pretty high-powered offense. They're not like a great team, but they've been pretty good offensively, you know what I mean? So in 2024, he had 744 yards, 2 touchdowns. Pretty mediocre, I would say. And then this past season, he had 910 yards, 6 touchdowns. So he hasn't had 1,000-yard. His last 1,000-yard season was 2023. He had 1,014. Good. 4 touchdowns. So you gave up a haul for him, and I guess, look, to talk about A.J. Brown, I think A.J. Brown would have been a much better player for you. AJ's been, look, you can say what we want about Jalen Hurts or whatever, him and A.J. Brown. Dude, A.J. Brown's put up his best numbers since he's been in Philadelphia. I mean, he had 1496 and 11 touchdowns in 2022. Then he had 1456 and 8, 1,079, 1,003. So he's been breaking 1,000 yards. He's only had one season where he hasn't. So he's a little older, AJ is, but I think Jaylen Waddle's going to be 27. AJ's gonna be 29. I think it's a good trade for the Broncos. They need, to your point, they need a guy. They need another guy. I think if you put in Jaylen Waddle, I actually think it'll benefit Cortland Sutton because it's going to take a little pressure off of him, likely, right? To kind of be your second guy, or maybe he steps up and he actually starts making some plays. I don't know. But the Broncos definitely needed another option in the. They needed another wide receiver, and I think Jaylen Waddle is going to be a good player for you guys. I think he will probably fit in better for you guys than AJ Brown would, because I think that AJ may. I mean, Bo Nix can be a little wild throwing the football. You know what I mean? And you can only imagine if AJ's not getting the catches, does this behavior repeat itself? You know what I mean? So it was a heavy haul, dude. So he's gonna have to work out. Like this is a move that I think the Broncos are making because they are trying. They are. It's Super Bowl.
So
They're thinking Super Bowl.
the last season, 2025, Dolphins were 7-10.
That's right.
The year before that, they were 8-9.
Yep.
I don't think they made it to the playoffs.
No.
2 years in a row. Okay. They have who's their quarterback?
It was Tua Tagovailoa, who did put up big numbers.
So
It didn't matter, but he put up big numbers.
but they weren't good enough to go to the playoffs. They're not relevant.
I'm just saying, like I said, we talk about you don't want to talk about numbers, but I'm just telling you, like he did produce decent numbers, but yeah, it didn't mean anything. They didn't win, right? It's about winning, right, Josh?
Yeah, it's all about winning at the end of the day, and he wasn't there last season as their quarterback.
What's that?
Quinn Ewers was their quarterback.
Well, at the end of the year, they benched Tua in like week 15, so he played like games.
No. Yeah, so
yeah, Tua stunk, dude.
To me, the Dolphins are always going to be, unfortunately, a trash team. They're obviously
a trash team
going through a rebuild stage right now.
They're always going through a rebuild.
They're looking to pick, like we. I feel like we got the better out of it. But again, it's wait and see. We could have gotten AJ Brown. AJ Brown could have been an issue for us. And I don't know. They're doing what they can do to support Bo Nix. And at the end of the day, my question is, what I'm curious about is how much of the play calling is Sean Payton actually going to do on the offensive side of things? Because he stated at the end of the season, when we actually picked our new offensive coordinator, he was no longer going to do the play calling. And I don't ever recall Sean Payton ever walking away from the play calling. That is what I'm curious about.
It's
so if you want to talk about our offense.
No, I'm saying it. They did. I saw a report from ESPN a couple weeks ago where they said that Sean Payton said Davis Webb is going to call the plays this year.
I don't believe that.
I don't know if that's true or not. Or I mean, I don't know if that's what's going to happen, but that's what they said.
Yeah, I don't. That's what I'm more curious about.
I think he is going to let him call plays. I think he is. Davis Webb is a hot name, dude. That's going to be a hot name next coaching cycle.
Is it going to be 30-70, 50-50, 90? You know,
it depends on how well you guys do. If you're winning football games, that's it.
Exactly, and it also depends on how well Bo Nix is actually going to do this coming season. I think that is going to be up in the air as well because he's had some great plays. He's had some awful moments as well.
Year for Bo Nix, dude. This is like he can get his extension if he's going to get one.
100%.
So he's going to have to. This is the money year for him. So to your point, he stinks up the joint. That's a huge setback for a football team, for an organization. If your quarterback is year 3 and he's going backwards.
Yeah, and this just shows me that they're just new offensive coordinator, new receiver. They're trying to invest in him.
It's Super Bowl, dude.
Has to be.
It has to be. You're right.
Has to be. Has to be.
All right.
So,
Well, moving on from that piece of news from the Denver Broncos, let's talk about tonight's main topic. Bam Adebayo dropped 83 points in a single game, which became the second highest scoring game in NBA history, passing Kobe Bryant's 81-point game from 2006. Josh, this was something that you wanted to bring up for tonight. This is the topic. Go ahead, please indulge us. Why this topic?
This is a very unique circumstance. Three players in the entire league have scored this high. Obviously, it was Wilt Chamberlain, 100 points a game. And then you had Kobe Bryant, who did it with 81 points. And now we're looking at Adebayo doing 83. And my question is really from a fan of sports, does this, obviously he beat Kobe Bryant's record, but what he did that night 7 days ago, does it truly surpass what Kobe Bryant did against the Raptors back in when was that? 2006. That is my question, and that is my thought. And let's take Wilt Chamberlain out of the picture. Unfortunately, it was word of mouth. To Eric's point, no, they don't have footage on it. Obviously, it was done in 1967, and also you had a giant amongst tiny men. Wilt Chamberlain was, I think, 7 foot, 7'1", playing up against an average players that were like 6 foot, 6'4".
Yeah, I mean, Wilt was way ahead of his time, and it's not to take it away from Wilt. He was phenomenal, but it's just, yeah, he was kind of a man amongst boys before we even talked about that term.
And I'm just going to say this is controversial, but it may not have been true.
It may not have been. You're right.
So I don't even want to talk about Wilt Chamberlain. I want to talk about more of what Adebayo did versus what Kobe Bryant did in 2006.
What does this mean for today's current NBA? Because Bam Adebayo is a good player.
Yes.
But he's a good player, but this isn't some guy I don't feel like this is a player we're going to be talking about when his career's over for years to come. Like Kobe Bryant, and I'm not a basketball guy. I will watch it casually, easily. I can easily watch it and function watching basketball. Kobe Bryant, for me, and there's going to be people that are going to hate this, but I think he's like the second greatest of all time. Michael Jordan, number 1. Who's not even on the top 10 list, funny enough, for points scored in a game. I think his high is 66, which is a shitload. But he's not even in the top 10. Wilt Chamberlain's actually on here like multiple times, but to your point, it was during 1962, 1961. But this is kind of like a weird, empty record to me. This isn't like a defining moment for a defining player. Like had this been Nikola Jokic, it would have carried so much more weight. And I think people would actually look at it like, okay, Jokic surpassed Kobe Bryant. That seems like a worthy player to do so, right? He doesn't have 5 titles like Kobe, but he's a champion. He's an NBA champion. He is an MVP. He's easily regarded as like the best player in the NBA to many right now, currently. To a lot of people, has been over the past several seasons. This is just a weird record. This would be kind of like, I don't know, who's a quarterback in the NFL? It's kind of like if we had a touchdown passing record from some Joe Blow. I don't know. I can't think of one off the top of my head right now. No, not Jalen Hurts, but I would say more like I can't think of a
Not not
quarterback.
not
Just
Tebow, not Tim Tebow.
someone. If Bryce Young threw 8 touchdown passes for the Panthers, it would just be like a weird record. So, does this define Bam Adebayo as like a all-time great? No, I don't think so. I don't think so at all. It feels kind of almost like it's a great accomplishment, good for him, but it feels like it just has like a weird feeling to it. Like who, what? Like it wasn't,
And
wasn't Steph Curry doing it.
I'd
It
have to agree
wasn't.
with Eric here because I feel like Kobe Bryant's 81-point game was necessity. Was he that team needed every bucket, right? I think
Yeah,
that
I
was
mean,
it wasn't just scoring. It was kind of like a story behind that one.
well, yeah, it was his
Talk-
final game of his career.
Mm-hmm.
You know,
Mm-hmm.
so I think when Kobe Bryant did it with 81, it was his send off, and it just was so fitting for a guy that was a top tier talent in the NBA and a Hall of Famer. In my opinion, he's the second greatest. I mean, there's going to be people that push back with millions of people that push back saying it's going to be LeBron James. Speaking of LeBron James, he didn't actually. He's not even on the top 10 record of points scored in a game. I don't even know what his high is. I would guess it's in the 60s. So it feels this record feels kind of empty when you look at the lore of basketball. So Josh, I was just talking to Albert, and I was kind of highlighting that this is like a great accomplishment for Bam Adebayo, and he's a good player in the NBA, very good player. But um, this feels kind of like kind of an empty great record a little bit based on the player compared to somebody
I
like
think,
Kobe Bryant, 5-time champion.
so it's still a big accomplishment.
Oh, it's
I
massive.
don't want to take it away from him. I don't. I still want to give him his flowers. He he scored 43 points in the first half. Okay, he went to the line. Um,
Yeah,
hold on
that's a
one
good
second.
point. How many times did he go to the line? Which
He went to
there's
the free throw line 43 times. He made 36 of them.
Mm-hmm.
Okay.
interesting.
Um, and
That's an
looking
interesting.
at the Heat is actually the Miami Heat is actually yeah, and the Miami Heat they're an exceptional team. They are relevant. Okay, they are going to the playoffs. They can go far in the playoffs. Do I see them winning it? No. But when I look at and I think you said that his Kobe Bryant's 81-point game was a send off game. He was actually still in his prime when he did this back in 2006. Um,
Well, it was his last
let me
game of
let
his
me tell you,
career.
his final year, he didn't retire
I thought it was his final game,
until
but
later. He retired in 2016.
oh, okay. Then
Yeah.
I'm. What am I thinking then?
So yeah, so
Yeah, same
so
here.
so he was still in his prime. Um, and let me tell you, so they played against the Raptors. Okay, and the Raptors were actually a really well established team. Um, they had Chris Bosh, Matt Bonner, Mike James, Morris Peterson, Jalen Rose was their starting five. They were actually a very solid, well around team. Um, and then when you look at the Lakers, Kobe Bryant at the two, okay, Smush Parker at the one, Chris Mim, Lamar Odom. Lamar Odom is probably at this point the only Laker that actually went to go win a championship with Bynum and also Pau Gasol a year down the road. Um, and they had the number one bust of all time, Kwame Brown, at the five. This was a busted ass Laker team.
Yeah,
Um,
yeah.
and to Alberto's point, he had to score. he had to lead this
Yeah,
team, and he wasn't doing it to put up 81 points. He had to do it so that they could win. And that was the difference between Adebayo's 43 or excuse me 83 versus Kobe Bryant's 81.
I also think, if we're comparing the eras, I mean, you have to factor in pace, you have to factor in spacing, how the defenses are played today versus 2006. I think those things play a huge factor into that 83-point game versus that 81-point game too. You know,
the game was more
I
physical,
agree with you.
right?
I agree with you 100%. The 2000s, really, I would say 2006 included, early 2000s to the 90s, the game was absolutely a lot more physical
Way
mm-hmm.
more physical.
as well.
Mm-hmm.
Hard fouls, dude.
So, but harder fouls, you went to the foul line less, and if you went to the foul line, you had to earn it. And now, yeah, it's definitely it's more soft, and your chances of going to the foul line are a lot higher now than back in the day. That's how I look at it.
Right.
Josh, what do you think about? Albert brought up like the pacing of the game. I know there's a lot of criticism from fans these days in the current NBA where they kind of criticize how often a player gets to the foul line to add points. Like there's a lot of fouls that occur that are now resulting in mass points being given to a player because he's going to the foul line. I know that what's his name for the Thunder, SGA, Shea Gilgeous-Alexander, gets a lot of like criticism because he gets to the line a lot, and so he's averaging like 20 points. He set this record recently where he's averaging 20 or more points in I don't remember how many games, but he's done it. He's got the record now, and a lot of people are like, well, it's because he's always going to the foul line. They're giving him fouls, and he's going to the foul line. So
That was his biggest ridicule when he won MVP last year, and then
yeah,
majority of his points were from the foul line. SGA is. Do I think fouls play a big part in it? Yes. Do I think the fouls are getting more ridiculous? Absolutely. That's what James Harden actually brought to the table, if you want my honest opinion. Thank you, James Harden. He's kind of ruined the game in that aspect. SGA is a different animal. He's great.
Yeah, he's a great player. He's a great player.
I don't want to disregard him. But yeah, the foul lines are getting ridiculous. I just here's another thing that's interesting, and I'm going to get away from the foul lines a little bit. The next game that the Heat played, okay, I believe, okay, Adebayo struggled in the first half. He only put up 8 points in the first half in his second game. He only shot the ball 20 times. He went from 8 for 20. Still a decent shooting percentage, okay, at 40%. He was only able to put up 21 points. So it's not like he's actually an elite scorer. So Eric, to your point, it's kind of like having that one-off quarterback in the NFL just have a blow-up game.
Mm-hmm.
You know, and timing is everything. I would say that scoring aside, okay, Nikola Jokic's triple-double consistently, game after game, is more impressive than this 83-point game that he had. Simply because he is more consistent and able to do it. But it's not easy. You can talk all this shit and you can say, hey, he put up 83 points because everyone's getting soft in the league. Jokic is putting up a triple double because the league is getting soft. No one plays defense. Blah 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 blah. But at the end of the day, he'll have to pass the ball. He'll have to shoot and make it. And he's going to have to rebound.
Yeah. Oh yeah.
So
Yeah,
I
yeah.
would say actually Jokic's triple double in consistency is a lot better and more recognizable than Adebayo's 83 point. And we don't talk about his triple doubles as much. This guy's a triple double machine, and we don't talk about it enough. No one has put up triple doubles like him actually since Wilt Chamberlain.
Yeah. Yeah.
So I think that's more impressive than this 83 point game.
Yeah.
So if you were to ask me, we're gonna forget about this in 30 days.
We're gonna forget about it. It'll be in the record books, but we're gonna forget about it.
I also
agree.
I think that we're used to just big scoring games that I think we're inflating what this actually means. I don't think this is really like that big of just like when Kobe was dropping 81, so
Absolutely. And the thing is, the Wizards, when he scored those 83 points, the Wizards are the second worst team in the Eastern Conference.
Yeah,
they
they're
are
terrible.
16-22.
They're perpetually terrible. But to your point, yeah, as a weak team, Kobe did not do that against a weak team, to your point.
So. Yeah, they were struggling against the Raptors. They only simply won that game because Bryant put up 81 points. And if he had not, they would have lost that game. And what's even more impressive is Kobe was still able to take that team to the playoffs. They lost in the first round, I believe, against the Phoenix Suns.
Yeah.
And he lost that game on purpose. I don't know if you guys know about that game, but I think in the first game in that playoff series in that season, he made a statement. He shot the ball.
Yeah.
And then they were like, "Oh, Kobe's shooting too much," and then he stopped shooting in the second game of the playoffs. They won their first game, and he kept passing it. He refused to shoot it, and he made a statement to the Laker organization, and they ended up losing the series because of it. And he made a statement that I need help. I can't do this on my own, and if I'm not shooting, we're going to lose. And then they made that immediate trade for Pau Gasol. They brought him in. They brought in Bynum.
And they won more championships.
And then they won 2 more championships after that.
Yeah. Well, and by the way, real quick, I was wrong. Kobe scored 60 points his last game of his career, which is a shitload. So anyway, sorry, what's that, Albert?
Well, I mean, speaking about such a score, Josh, how are you feeling right now about the Nuggets getting back to the finals? You're currently destroying Eric's 76ers right now, 69-38 as we speak.
I think we are the most impressive team in the NBA, simply because we did not have our starting 5 all season. Nikola Jokic was injured for X amount of games. Aaron Gordon was injured X amount of games. Christian Brown was, injured as well. Jamal Murray has stepped up, and this is the first year he's been an all-star player. He's averaging, I believe, 25 points a game. So he's having a breakout season finally. But because we've been able to still be, yes, we are in the 6th, right? We were making a playoff run. But if you look at the playoff bracket, it's tight. It's extremely tight. The fact that we have been relevant and where we are at without our top 5, our starting 5, shows that we can actually go pretty far in the playoffs. Do I think we're better than OKC? Oh man, that's a stretch, and I hate saying this, but I don't think we are better than them. But let me show you how tight we are. The Lakers 43-25. They're in the 3rd seed. The Rockets in the 4th seed are 41-26. Timberwolves are 41-27, or excuse me, the Nuggets are 41-27 in the fifth seed, and then the Timberwolves are 41-27 in the sixth seed.
That's a bit of a grind right there.
And one loss makes or breaks your position.
Are the Thunder going to go back to back?
In the NBA, it is much more difficult to go back to back than the NFL. If you want my honest opinion, because you got to keep in mind we're playing.
I don't know about that.
You're playing 80. When has it happened?
I mean, the Bulls had two different
teams
in the 90s.
Besides the Bulls,
the Spurs, I think, didn't they go back to back in the early thousands? I mean, I know you're thinking, but listen, the Kansas City Chiefs and the Patriots. Now, the Kansas City Chiefs went back to back, but before that was, I think, the Patriots, but that was in the early thousands. That's where they went back to back. It's only happened like twice, I think, this century in the NFL.
So there's only been 6 teams in the NBA that's done it. Okay, Celtics, Lakers, Bulls, Warriors.
There you go.
Rockets,
but when? Okay, but that's right. The Miami Heat did it. They did it in the thousands. The Lakers did it in the thousands, right?
Mm-hmm.
Okay.
Yeah. The Golden State Warriors
and the Warriors did it.
Yeah, the Warriors and the Heat are the two players that did it in the 2000s.
Lakers.
And the Lakers, 2000 and 2002.
So I think in the NFL, I think it's only been the Chiefs and the Patriots this century. And the Patriots was early thousands. So it's close. It's about the same. So just basically going back to back is just hard, period.
Yeah, it's a tough thing to do.
I think look, not a basketball expert. I think the Thunder are going to go back to back. I don't think they're going to lose. They're so stacked. They're very deep. Like to your point, SGA he's great. They've got such a great lineup, dude. That Chet Holmgren looks like a twig out there, but he's unbelievable. Like I think the Spurs are young. They're very good, but they're very young. Does that you know what I mean? Like
Wemby is
they're very good. Their record is astonishing.
Yeah, and they're very young. They didn't start off that hot beginning of this season. They struggled, and they eventually became the hottest team in the NBA, simply because again the Nuggets got injured. I do believe if we didn't get injured, and what we are figuring out right now is because we missed out on our starting core all season. We're trying to build that chemistry back up again.
I think you guys can beat the Spurs. That's what I'm saying.
Spurs. I think we're better than Timberwolves. I think we're better than the Lakers, obviously. Even though we had an extremely weird game against them the other day. But to your point, do I think OKC is better than us? Absolutely. I watched that game in OKC when we lost down to the final minutes.
Very, very close.
SGA reminds me of Kobe Bryant. He is such a good player. He has the mid-range, the drive,
the free throws.
The free throws, obviously. He can hit the three really well. Since he's the best guard since Kobe Bryant, I don't think that there's another player that's been close to what.
I think they're going back to back.
It's tough.
They're going to be tough. I could see you guys playing them again in the postseason.
And they're a young team. They're a young team. They're coached really well. I don't. You're right. I don't want to say it, but You
I'll say
know,
it. Don't worry. I already did. I don't care about the Thunder. I don't give a shit about the Thunder. I'm just saying, like, fuck them. But they're kind of they feel like a little bit like they could be building a little dynasty right now, and it's going to be a while before somebody knocks them off. Is what it feels like. They're kind of the new. They're like the NBA Chiefs all of a sudden. It's gross, it's sickening.
we'll see. I don't know. It's year two, so
Sixers,
um,
baby.
Josh, so going back to the Nuggets for a second,
Not.
what's a bigger risk? Is it standing pat or making some major changes off season?
Mm.
if we don't win a championship, we need to make some major changes.
You got a
I mean,
window here with Nikola Jokic. You gotta ride and die with.
I want to say he's loyal and he'll stay with us, he does come off as a player that will retire and
Yes,
stay loyal.
I think that's more
believe
likely.
that. I think the dynamic between Murray and Jokic has to end soon. If we don't win a championship this year, I think they're going to have to break them apart, and they're going to have to trade Murray.
Okay.
all
And
right.
I'm a Murray fan. As inconsistent as he is, I like his play style. I like his grit. Um,
He's a champion.
he's a champion. He's one of our best players in the playoffs.
Yeah.
He shows up. Last year was his worst um, playoff run,
Yeah,
actually.
he kind of faded a little bit
Yeah.
last. Yes, it was.
Um, but I think if we don't win a championship this year, we are going to have to move him, unfortunately, and they're going to have to bring in somebody. Um, you know, I think Aaron Gordon is also at the end of his career as well. That's why there's been health issues, which sucks because A, he's our best defensive player. B, he's actually having a breakthrough offensive season. He's improved in the three line. He had that one first game, beginning of the season, where he scored like 50 some points in his first game. And then after that, he's been averaging 25 points a game.
That's not that
Uh,
bad. That's pretty good.
no. But if you think about it, we're in the position where if we don't make championship this year, everyone that we did sign, you know, Tim Hardaway Jr., Chris Brown, Chris Braun,
No, it's Brown.
um,
It is Brown. It is Brown.
Brown,
Spelled
Bruce
weird.
Brown, excuse me, and then one other player, the center. We only gave him 1 year contracts.
Yeah, kind of just like a rent. We're gonna rent you for
Exactly
like
right.
a
No,
prove it or rent. We're gonna rent
yeah,
you.
we traded for Michael Porter Jr. We got Johnson. It allowed us to bring us in this core group off the bench to fill the holes necessary to give us more depth. And if we don't, all we got to do is just trade for Murray, and then bring somebody else in, and then work, re-sign maybe Bruce Brown again, um, and so forth. So
But Josh, you said you're a Murray fan. Do you still think he's a playoff riser?
I do.
Yeah. Okay.
I
Okay.
really do. I think he's great. I think he meshes well um, with Jokic. And maybe I'm biased at the end of the day. I love his style. That's the style that I grew up playing as well. He has that Kobe mentality, like he's going to be the last person to shoot it. And you have to have a player like that. Um, so, but at the end of the day, it's business. And do you want to invest in Murray or do you want to invest in Jokic?
Oh yeah, that's not a question. It's not a question.
That's true.
So, as much as I like Murray, he's expendable, unfortunately.
You agree, Eric?
I think he's right. Yeah. I think when you look at Jamal Murray, he's your Robin to the Batman, and you broke through in that 23 season and won it. So obviously he earned his place to continue to invest in him as the second guy. But it is kind of starting to feel like it all goes through one player. They have to, because even watching the postseason last year, watching the Nuggets, it just felt like Jokic was just having to do everything. And the games they had with the Thunder in that series last postseason, dude, it was like a blowout every other game. You know what I mean? It was like Nuggets blow them out, and then they get blown the fuck out when they go to Oklahoma City, and it's pretty much, it felt like it was just Nikola Jokic playing out
Yeah,
there.
and we were missing one thing: depth in our bench.
Yeah, you didn't have the depth, and that's what the Thunder have, and they still have it, and that's why I think they've already
But that's
clinched
what
it.
we
Yeah,
have this year, and that's why I genuinely believe
gotta be
we do
healthy.
have a chance.
Gotta
We
be
do have a
healthy.
chance because we can't allow Jokic to play 40 minutes in a game,
Yeah, I know,
especially
every
during the
game,
playoffs.
every game.
Especially in the playoffs.
Yeah, it'll wear you down. And that's what happened last year. So
Well, I mean, look, moving away for a second. I know we're talking about sports here. We're talking about basketball, but I gotta ask one that I think is on everyone's minds right now tonight. So, Josh, I'm gonna start with you. Is CM Punk versus Roman Reigns the actual? Is this the right call for the main event of WrestleMania? What do you think?
Wow. I actually saw highlights on that. How did you actually ask that?
Look. This is Poor
Um,
Man Sports. We're covering everything tonight.
yeah, no, I love that. I love that. Oh man, Roman Reigns goes hard too.
Yeah, I mean, come on, dude. He's
Some of the things he says. Oh wow.
so much more better
Um,
on the mic as well. Like in comparison to when he started, like just
yeah. He definitely butchered. He got that's that huge he dropped the ball against Mike John Cena. You
oh my
remember that?
god, Eric.
Yeah.
If you want to see a public humiliation in wrestling, just watch the promo between John Cena and Roman Reigns. Like when Roman Reigns first started, John Cena fucking like just in the industry of WWE we call it burying them. He buried Roman Reigns. Like he almost ended his fucking career
Yeah,
with
and
the
he
promo.
used it as motivation
Yeah,
to up his mic skills too. Um, I don't like the direction that they're going with these old timers. Um,
old timers being CM Punk.
yeah, like they're just trying to give them their flowers and their send offs for
Right.
retirement.
Yeah.
Um,
so what you're
CM
saying
Punk,
is that John Cena is going to win this.
John Cena's retired.
he's retired. He's done.
Oh, he's retired.
Yeah,
Okay.
yeah, yeah. Look,
Um,
That sort of tells you how much I know.
and that's fine because I'm gonna give you some homework, Eric. At some point,
That's fine.
I'm gonna have you watch
um,
more wrestling. So,
so when CM Punk won the championship months back, and he only had it for like a second, and then the money in the bag came out, and then they took it from him. Who took it from him?
I believe it was Seth Rollins.
I think it was Seth Rollins. Yeah, because he pretended to be injured. He wasn't
Yes, that's
injured.
correct. Yep.
Remember right? I felt bad for CM Punk. I was
I
kind of rooting for him a little
I
bit.
don't care for CM Punk at all. So
Well, he is an acquired taste,
he is.
and he does have an ego like no other. Um, for the main event, for him to have it now, no,
I agree.
I don't think this is a good matchup. I don't like the. I feel like they're just doing the John Cena thing all over again.
Yep.
I find it interesting that the Uso brothers are all sensitive about family.
Yep.
Like that whole like thing didn't make sense to me.
It just didn't. It felt like such a 180 from what they were already kind of
Yeah,
leading towards with them, and
like the
yeah,
whole apology statement made no sense to
no,
me, and yeah, I didn't blame. Like to me, I think I think I think CM Punk was right. I guess. Um,
I don't
I
know.
understand why you don't like CM Punk,
Yeah.
and which is kind of interesting because now that you have Triple H running the show, and their relationship in the past was like extremely bad. Um, so to see CM Punk in the position that he's in now, the relationship with Triple H is really interesting. But no, I don't care. You know what they really need to do, Alberto? Let me ask you this question:
All right.
would the American Nightmare be better if he came out as a heel?
Yes. 100% yes. Yes. I think so because he's another example, just like John Cena. They waited too long to pull the trigger on him being a heel, and then they botched it. I think that they have something with Cody Rhodes. I'm not saying they're hinting at it, but if you saw Cody Rhodes in AEW or his Ring of Honor days, like there's a bit of heel to him, I think. So some flexibility that I think we can see from him, but WWE just aren't pulling the trigger because he's a good guy and they're making a lot of money off of the merchandise. He's their next like John Cena right now, I think.
Yeah, but Triple H is the greatest heel of all time, was he not?
Triple H, he's one of them. I
I
don't
would
know if you
say
can
he
say
is.
is, but
I would say Triple H is the greatest heel of all time. He was still selling merchandise.
that is true.
He held that title for a very long time. No one can ever stand up to him. He was screwing over he was the Michael Jordan of WWE at the time. I feel like he screwed up. Like The Rock was getting shit on the whole time. Mankind was getting shit on the whole time. Any superstar that went across Triple H, they just got obliterated. Okay,
Yeah,
um, I feel like Cody Rhodes can bring that same type of elevation up as Triple H did.
he could. It's just I feel like WWE just has they have too many hands in the pot. They have too many people, investors, I think, and that could be holding them back from wanting to make that full like heel turn. I agree. I think that Cody Rhodes should be heel at this point because I think they've run out of gas with what they're doing with him being a babyface. I think they've
Agreed.
exhausted that too much. So I
Agreed.
100% agree. Eric, I'm sorry I had to throw a curveball in there, but
No,
yeah,
it's okay.
we're covering
I
everything. Poor man sports. I figured
worry about it.
I might as well jump in and talk about the only thing I know about sports, which is WWE. So I had to go in there.
Yeah, no,
We're,
it's all
we're
good.
we're leading to WrestleMania, so I figured, fuck it, might as well talk about it. That's like our Super Bowl. So,
True.
is there anything else we should be covering tonight, guys? Or I think we've talked about everything we need to talk about tonight. I'm not correct me if
Yeah,
I'm
there's
wrong.
it's other than that, it's free agency was a little weird. We had a weird trade that got um, nixed because of an injury with Max Crosby. That was a strange one, really
Mm.
weird. But other than that, it's been pretty quiet. The Eagles have been pretty quiet. I liked the extension to Jordan Davis. That was a good one. Um, just kind of waiting on the AJ Brown thing, but I don't think that's going to happen in June. So probably not going to be much to talk about until then on that front.
All
So
right.
we'll figure something out.
So things are quiet on the Eagles front for now.
Yeah, it's pretty quiet. I mean, we've had some signings, but it's quiet. Like we're an established team. So usually when teams are spending a lot of money in free agency, like the Raiders, you're usually a bad football team. The teams that are consistent and they're competing, they're a little more quiet. They usually do like a smaller move. Sometimes you'll see like a big trade because they're trying to get over the top, but we're just in a situation where we're just kind of we have a lot of really good players, a lot of young talent. We can't keep them all, So we had some key guys leaving free agency, but we just couldn't keep them. So it is what it is. Got to keep on keeping on.
Well, all right. Well, I mean that's gonna probably do it for here tonight. Poor man sports. Thank you guys for listening and hopefully you had a good time enjoying listening to us talk about all these topics. We covered. This is probably the most diverse Poor Man Sports episode we've done in a minute. We weren't all just talking about football, but leave a comment down below. Tell us what you think about all these things that we've talked about tonight. We really appreciate it. If you haven't subscribed yet to our YouTube channel, please do. That is the only way you'll be able to get these episodes. We're doing it through with video format and everything. So really appreciate that. And we'll see you guys on the next episode of Poor Man Sports. Eric, go ahead. Sign us off.
Go Birds.